Welcome to my Friday update. I'm enjoying these and I'm enjoying being accountable to you all. And today I want to tell you about my week and how having to spend my week doing something I did not want to do with a passion has meant that my week has actually been ridiculously productive. So this week I got called for jury service and I knew I was going to be doing it. I'd rearranged it from doing it last year. I figured I'll book August for jury service. Nothing happens in August, right? And actually that somehow hilariously coincided with an incredibly busy period of time at Mazuma. I've mentioned previously we've got loads of stuff going on at the moment and there's just some really big stuff happening, and obviously it's coincided with jury service. So that's Murphy's Law, isn't it? I think as a business owner we have to accept that sometimes. But despite my lack of enthusiasm, let's call it that, despite my lack of enthusiasm for having to attend jury service, what it did do was make me think of a 2-week period and go, I'm going to be essentially out of action for those 2 weeks. I need to get myself organised. Now, it's a little bit like, before you go on holiday, and that week before you go on holiday for a couple of weeks, you are the most organised, you are the most productive, you are the most efficient person you have ever been. And you think to yourself, wow, when I really put my mind to it, I can get a load of stuff done. That's what I've been doing. So before I went off for my jury service, I made sure that everybody knew. I made sure that they knew I wouldn't be contactable during the day, that I might be out literally all day. I did say I'd probably be around in the evenings to pick stuff up, but no guarantees. I don't know how this thing's going to go. And what it meant was people just took ownership of stuff. And I always forget this. I always forget that I can lean on people and give them responsibilities and not expect them to have to come back to me with it. Caveat here, not everybody did, but the majority of people I handed things over to just got on with it, which was great. And it meant that when I did get released early for the day or back to my desk or told that I didn't need to hang around the court, when I got back, actually, I could spend my time doing something that we jokingly call it this. We call it thinky do work. And I mentioned that phrase to one of my managers today and she laughed her head off. Thinky do. So when you've got to really think hard about doing something, do some really kind of concentrated thinky do work. I know, it's daft. Anyway, I needed to do some of that work this week. And having kind of passed all that work on, told people I was going to be unavailable, no meetings in my diary for a 2-week period. That was a revelation. Oh my goodness, the amount of time I spend preparing for, in, and then writing up or dealing with actions off the back of meetings, that was quite an eye-opener for me this week. So it just meant that I was really, really productive. And it got me thinking about how I can take that energy into more of my life, how I can make sure that I don't have quite so many meetings in my diary all the time, that I set more boundaries. I'm pretty good at keeping certain days clear and I'm pretty good at setting boundaries for myself. Still a work in progress, obviously, who isn't? But it just made me think more about that and think that actually real focus, deep work time. I did a post a few days ago about using brown noise. I've been using that this week to keep myself really efficient. I needed to get more done in less time, so I've been using brown noise. Thank you to everybody else who gave me their recommendations for other concentration work, music to work to. Fantastic, I've been trying all of those. But it just made me really think about how much you can get done when you are intentionally going about your day as if you don't have a whole day's worth of time to be doing work. So it was just thoughts on that really, and trusting my team, putting more faith in them, setting the boundaries and being ruthlessly efficient with my time has actually meant that in a week where I've potentially had to spend pretty much all day out of the office doing things that aren't my job, I've actually got more done this week than I think I do in most weeks because I've just been so ruthlessly focused on doing it. So that was it this week, just a short one, taking that energy into next week. And I've now been released from jury service, which is delightful. So I've got my life back, which is brilliant. and I can move on with my life knowing that I probably won't be called for at least another 2 years. This is my second time of jury service as well. I just feel like other people should be allowed to do it. But yeah, act like, what I've taken from this week is act like you won't be in the office all day, and organise your time as if you're going to have to do it in as short a time as possible, as efficiently and as effectively as possible. Like for you, one take wonder, first time, get it right first time stuff. And actually, this week's been really productive, weirdly. From a week that I didn't have high hopes for, I've actually been incredibly productive and I've got some really good stuff done. So who knew? That's what I'm taking into the rest of the year. Jury service efficiency, let's call it that.